opening ceremony? Like Billy Boyd and Sean Astin. Yeah.
They will be known as just the asses. Everyone will just be like, this is so nice.
Yeah.
Who are those people?
That'll improve our reputation in radio.
Already don't know us. We don't want them not like us.
All right, next.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and I'm from the Netherlands. And my question was, you all make musicals, so what is each of your favorite musicals?
Okay.
Pokemon.
You should go.
I love that one.
I'm like I'm like just a super secret, huge Jekyll and Hyde fan. I was listening to it in my car the other day, and I was just driving and just going, yeah! It was just, I realized it was such a guilty pleasure. Yeah, I mean, the Book of Mormon is my most favorite of like recent years, and I think that it is just so good. But when I was a kid, I used to listen to West Side Story over.
Mine is Andrew Lippa's The Wild Party, and also Company. That's different, but great.
Yeah, mine's a three-way tie between West Side Story, Sweeney Todd, and Life. This was the latest movie, by the way.
The Miserables. I'd say probably Avenue Q, really. I listened to that when I drove out to California, which is like it's like a 3-day drive. And I drove out there when I moved out there right after college, and then that was like one of 5 CDs that I had in my car. So it got listened to over and over and over and over again. So Avenue Q.
My family loves Andrew Lloyd Webber, and we were like raised on his greatest hits CD. So I like pretty much any Andrew Lloyd Webber. We would sit by the fire, and I had this habit that Lauren's the only other person I've ever met that does this. I'd like to sit in a chair and bounce. My dad would sit by the fire, and then I'd be like, Jen, for hours. And I had like abs of steel. Genital cat, yes.
Alright, question over here. Okay. Side note, I saw Spider-Man, and it was a lot of fun. I know people...
Hi, I got 2 questions. First is about soundtrack or whole music of Batman, because the lyrics on the album differ from on the show once, and I was wondering why that is, especially in To Be a Man, where Batmobile got replaced by booby traps. Was it a creative decision or just copyright issues, or
It was sort of preemptively worrying about any sort of copyright issues that we might have. To be honest, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal because I don't think they were paying too much attention. But that's sort of just the relationship that we've set up with WB, and of course we had to parody another WB property. We just wanted to honor that relationship we had set up before with not selling songs in particular that have like a ton of blatant references. So we compromised our artistic integrity and changed the lyrics of the song so we could sell it. Next question.
And I got another one about what happened to the costumes and the props, and especially the puppets. I mean, you don't put Pinter just in a closet or something, so you have rented them. So, did you guys rent?
What's the last part of your question? What happened to costumes and the props and everything?
They're in a band of puppets. She was asking, Pinter's not something you just put in the closet.
Oh, that is what you think. Actually, we have a really big closet. And it's that.
We have 3 storage units that we basically take out a new one every time we do something. And we just shove everything in there. So yeah, all of the flat 2D bugs that were in Starship, they're all just smushed and lined up in this cold, damp storage unit. And the puppets are all stored in there too, but they're packed up very nicely. But those 2D bugs are made out of like foam insulation that we carved and painted and the lengths you're on, and we also worked on making those. But they were really coming apart at the end. We only did 8 live performances of Starship, and they were really falling apart by the end of that. So it's a good thing it wasn't a very long run.
You see, they like look
Yeah.
right from the front still, but if you look at the back, they're all held together with wires that they glue.
And you know how like Frankenstein had like bolts connected and like big staples connected on the skin? That's what they all look like. And then Meredith remembered that the next person, you know, we did Holy Musical Batman, and then a few weeks later we did a comic book convention in Chicago called C2E2. And we you know, the costumes for Batman were awesome, and so we all wanted to get back into our costumes, and we said, what better opportunity than a comic book convention? So we went there in our costumes, and Dylan was supposed to come, but like couldn't. Like he told us like 2 days before that he was going to not be there, but we still brought his costume anyway for some reason. And then Sean Astin was there, and ended up we were signing autographs next to him, and he became intrigued by us, I think, because we had a line of enthusiastic young people like yourselves there, and he came over and was talking to us, and he ended up coming to our panel, and he dressed as the Scarecrow from Holy Musical Batman. Do you all know this? Yeah. Okay. All right, well, Sean Astin was the next one to wear it, so that's probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to one of our costumes.